A mother, a fiancé, a friend. China mourns the victims of China Eastern Airlines crash. CNN. One passenger was a mother flying to visit the daughter she hadn't been for several years. Another was a woman on her way to reunite with her fiancé after months apart. Awaiting their arrival, those loved ones were instead met with horror after China Eastern Airlines flight 5735 in route from Kunming to Guangzhou crashed on Monday in the densely forested mountains of southern China. Rescue teams are searching the crash site for a third day Wednesday, but no survivors have been found. Meanwhile, stories of the victims were emerging on state media that paint a portrait of the 132 people on board, as people across the country share messages of grief. Their pain made sharper by 2 years of isolation and separation during the COVID-19 pandemic. One man told the state-run Beijing Youth Daily he and his long-distance fiancé had been together for 5 years. This time we hadn't seen each other in person in 4 months. We really missed each other, he said. His fiancé had originally planned to fly to Guangzhou to see him on March 22, but she missed him too much and changed her flight to earlier one, MU 5735. Another woman told the news outlet she hadn't been abroad for several years and hadn't seen her mother in a long time. Her mother had been on her way to visit and originally planned to transit through Shanghai, but at the advice of the travel agent, changed her flight to go through Guangzhou. Among the passengers was a young girl, according to Beijing Youth Daily, a student in Kunming City. She was on her way home to Guangzhou to celebrate her 16th birthday with friends and family. Unbeknownst to her, her friends had planned a surprise party. Before boarding the flight, she texted the friend saying, "When I see you all, I need to give you all proper hug." Another on board included young professionals on business trips and newlyweds, according to state media. Paramilitary police officers searched the site of the China Eastern Airlines plane crash in China's Guangxi province on March 22. Wednesday's crash of the Boeing 737-800 plane marked China's worst air disaster in more than a decade. The cause of the crash is not yet known. The plane was flying normally before it suddenly began dropping and lost contact with the ground control. Just over an hour into the flight, said an airline representative at a news conference Tuesday night. Pre-flight examinations showed nothing amiss, and all crew members were healthy and qualified, he added. More than 2,000 emergency workers have been deployed to the site, looking for the so-called black boxes, flight data, and cockpit voice recorders that could hold crucial clues to how the disaster unfolded. The search has been suspended since Wednesday morning due to heavy rain. The airline has contacted the families of all passengers and crew on board, according to state-run tabloid Global Times. Some relatives gathered in the Guangzhou airport where the flight was supposed to land, waiting in a cordoned off area for any news of their loved ones. Others are making their way to Wuzhou, near the crash site, with several hotels in the city preparing rooms to receive the families. An investigation by the Civil Aviation Administration of China, called the CAAC, is ongoing, with the U.S. National Transportation Safety Board and the U.S. Federal Aviation Administration also involved. But it could take months, or even more than a year, before families received any answers. The final report for the fatal 2010 China Airlines crash wasn't released until almost 2 years later. Air crash investigators warned on Tuesday that their probe into the cause of the crash will be very difficult due to heavy severely damaged the plane is. Because the investigation has just begun, we are not able to make a clear judgment about the cause of the accident with the information we have so far. The investigation team will spare no effort to collect evidence from all parties and focus on search, the CAAC official said. The crash prompted an outpouring of mourning online, with the topic trending for the past few days on Weibo. The crash prompted an outpouring of mourning online, with the topic trending for the past few days on Weibo, China's Twitter-like platform. Related hashtags has been viewed hundreds of millions of times, with many people arguing privacy and respect for the victims' families. Images and footage of the crash depicted the nationwide horror, especially a video taken by a mining company near the crash site, showing what appears to be the plane hurtling rapidly towards the forest, nearly vertical in its nosedive. CNN cannot independently confirm the authenticity of the video or that the purported aircraft is a new 5735, but the steep decline matches the flight tracking data available, which showed the China Eastern jet plunged more than 25,000 feet, 7,600 meters in under 2 minutes. Many Weibo users also pointed out that the heartbreak of the tragedy is exacerbated by difficulties of life during COVID, with many families scattered and unable to see each other, with China currently fighting its biggest COVID wave since Wuhan 2020. The crash felt like a sucker punch. They shouldn't have been able to go home for a reunion and travel with their families after the pandemic. One person wrote in a Weibo post, "The Guangzhou airport still has all the people they love most. In the past 2 years, we've missed too many beautiful things because of COVID-19 or other reasons." Another wrote, "For those passengers on the plane, maybe they all had messages on their phones. See you later. You are almost home." Finally, we don't need to do long-distance relationship anymore, but their lives ended at that moment while receiving those messages.